Good morning, Roll Gang, and welcome on inside to another episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. I am your host, Processor Sky, back with another Terpene Tuesday episode of the show. Gotta get a little judgment sector in. Gonna review one of the latest and greatest in the cannabis industry here in Las Vegas. Some High Times premium cannabis flower. I've got some legendary Purple Haze. Throwback to 10 years ago. Purple Haze running the cannabis industry. Really fucking excited to break down these bomb buds. Hit the Throwback Tuesday button. Smoke some Purple Haze by High Times Black Label. Super fucking hyped to dive on into it with you guys. Let's get this show officially going here on a Terpene Tuesday. Welcome on in to another episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. If you are tuning in on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, really fucking appreciate you. Super excited to sesh with you guys. Would love to know what you're wake and baking on this morning, because after all, it's only stoner law that we have awoke, so now we must have a smoke. And I'm super excited to judge this Black Label High Times cannabis flower with you guys, as you guys wake and bake as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this packaging. How the grading system works is the RSRS, the Rolling Spoon Rating Scale, takes into account the bag appeal, which is like the aroma, coloration, density, and nug structure before we break down the bud. And then 80% of the score gets kept until we are smoking the joint itself. We're going to judge flavor, ash color, throat hit, and then overall how it made us feel in the definitive judgment section. Super fucking excited to dive into this High Times flower and judge it with you guys. So without further ado, let's pop this baby open and give it the pre-smoke judgment. High Times Black Label Purple Haze on today's Strain Review Tuesday of the Weekday Wake and Bake. Wow. It smells very, very sweet. I definitely smell that like grapey, candy taste, myrcene. Maybe some good limonene. It's almost a cooling, a light, cooling, sweet flavor. I can't really put my finger on a specific fruit it smells like. It's not as grapey as you would think. It's more like, even like strawberry banana maybe. Purple Haze. It just smells extremely sweet. The nugs are unbelievable, actually. Hardball, berry-shaped nugs. I mean, shit. I didn't know how berry Purple Haze was. This is some classic Purple Haze from High Times. Super excited to break it down. I'm going to smoke this nug with you guys this morning, Roll Gang, and judge it. We are the pre-smoke judgment. You know, the aroma is 100% there. I love the sweet, danky aroma. The coloration, super light, perfect green. The density, very, very dense. Absolutely love it. But honestly, a little bit weird on the nug structure. Very bumpy and odd. But I still think it looks like some Dumb Fire. So, Dumb Fire is a 4 out of 5 on the bag appeal. 5 out of 5 would be seemingly perfect. I don't know if this baby is seemingly perfect, but she looks like one of those classic timeless buds that's just really great genetics. I'm super excited to smoke it with you guys. But while I break down this beautiful bud, of Purple Haze by High Times. Gotta give a major shout out to the sponsors of the show because they make it happen for the Roll Gangsters and help out the Weekday Wake and Bake every weekday morning. First and foremost, the first ever cannabis college, Oaksterdam University. If you guys are trying to claim your stake in this budding industry and, take on cannabis as a career, then Oaksterdam University is the place to make your endeavors legit. You can get certified in cannabis horticulture, cannabis. You can learn all about the cannabinoids and the terpenes found in the cannabis plant, all of the reasons that make cannabis such a magical product. Mother Nature on the production, Oaksterdam on the education, and us on the smoke. Shout out Oaksterdam. Use promo code Rolling Spoon to get 10% off your tuition. The Rolling Spoon Scholarship over at Oaksterdam University. Save like a couple $100 off your tuition at Oaksterdam by using promo code Rolling Spoon. And I'm also going to use my rolling spoon to help me roll this dime. It's absolutely imperative that during a Strain Review Tuesday episode, we roll the same exact joint that we roll every single week on the show. Because if the roll is lesser or greater than the last week, then we are going to have an unfair judgment. And the flower that's getting judged isn't going to be the only variable in the judgment. So the only way I can roll a perfect dime every time is by using my rolling spoon to evenly procure my cannabis from my grinder to my paper. So I never have to touch it again once it's all ground up and sticky. I'm going to go ahead and scoop a couple scoops of this High Times Purple Haze into my joint paper. Use my straight edge to go in and pank it down a little bit. Try to stick it all together. Formulate that snake, as we like to say in the roll game. Right, roll gang? Fuck yeah. And then we can go ahead and mold it, lick it, and stick it. Gonna judge this beautiful nug of Purple Haze by High Times. Super fucking excited to spark up this joint. We got a 4 out of 5 on the pre-smoke judgment. Extremely great smell, density, coloration. The nug structure is where I docked it the point to make it from seemingly perfect. You have to check all those boxes to get a 5. But I'm really fucking excited to smoke this. I smell heavy myrcene, heavy limonene. Should be great fruity smoke. Purple Haze by High Times. About to get sparked. Use my Rolling Spoons poker. And I got a lighter right here. Let's get this baby up in smoke. Whoa! Whoa! Unexpected flavor. It's actually tart. A little bit bitter. Almost reminds me of forbidden fruit. Wow, hard to hit. A beautiful ash color. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let me focus on the flavor. So now that we have it sparked, we got a 4 out of 5 on the pre-smoke judgment for before we even broke down the nug. Now that the nug is broken down and we rolled up a dime, sparked it up, the flavor, how was the tongue? Was it a 5 would be creme de la creme. A 4 would be delish. It's definitely one of those two. Gang, it's light, It's fluffy, it's cushy, it's subtly sweet, but mostly like just very earthy flavored. Tastes just like a classic haze strain without the terpinolene. I'm going for a 5 out of 5 on the flavor. And not only that, but the next judgment is the ash color. How cleanly was it grown and cured? What's the moisture level like? Honestly, Roll Gang, it's been a minute since we've had an ash color this light on a strain review Tuesday. I'm going to come around and show you. This is almost exactly what a great ash color should look like. You know, I'm not going to give it a 5 out of 5 because I know that a whipped cream color and a cake consistency exists. The 5 out of 5 ash color is reserved for those perfect weeds that stack beautifully and burn perfectly white. But this strain does score a highly coveted 4 out of 5 on the ash color because it is absolutely as white as a cumulus nimbus cloud. The cumulus cloud is 4 out of 5 on the RSRS. Last but certainly not least, on the smoking judgment, the experiential judgment, if you will, is the throat hit. And honestly, I think this is my favorite part of this smoke so far. It hits so clean, yet so potent. That's super satisfying, kind of rough pinch in the back of my throat. I love these little light coughs. You know what I mean? I'm not going ape shit, but I love to cough so that I can know that it's potent. Huge shout out to my co-host this morning, Little Binks, getting a drink of my water up here on the Wake and Bake set. But, so throat hit's gonna be a 5 out of 5 on this Purple Haze by High Times. Just a little recap. A 4 out of 5 on bag appeal, a 5 out of 5 on flavor, a 4 out of 5 on ash color, and a 5 out of 5 on throat hit. This baby is a really fucking high scorer right now. Been absolutely loving this High Times flower. I think it's grown by Redwood. One of the best cultivators here in Las Vegas right now, Redwood. So last but certainly not least, we're going to get into the definitive judgments. Like, how did it make us feel? What was the burn time like? The tested THC percentage and terpenes. We're going to dive into the stuff we couldn't really control. We have no, I mean, I guess it is my opinion how I feel right now, but if it was super effective, I should be able to detect the effect. Firstly, burn time, incredibly sufficient. I mean, I'm halfway through here. Probably going to be a 10 plus minute joint. I think it checks that box emphatically. Tested THC percentage, I'm going to guess around 23-24%. It's like probably going to be in the range of my ideal percentage, and 23-24 is just where I like it to be at. Just less than a quarter of a nug is the active ingredient, THC. Other cannabinoids present, you know, I really think it could be incredibly diverse and evenly scoring, too. I think we're going to have some limonene, some myrcene, caryophyllene, maybe even some humulene up in there, giving it that earthy taste. But I've absolutely been loving the flavor of this herb. Earthy, almost seasonal fall style smoke. The smoke smells very, very natural, you know, not chemically at all, and beautiful taste. The terpenes definitely coming through. Let's check on the numbers now. 26.8% THC, 7.7 milligrams limonene, 5.5 milligrams, 5.5 limonene, 7.7 myrcene, and Yeah, that's it for over 3 milligrams per gram. But honestly, you could smell those two most before you actually lit up the weed. It tastes a little bit tart, more bitter than it smells, but you could really smell the myrcene on the nose of the bud. Definitely sufficient on the numbers, very similar to what the smoking experience is like. Not quite as fruity as the identity would say, but still really great. The smoke has got me absolutely scrambled. Incredibly medicated, great mood boosting. I'd say mood boosting hybrid. You got the myrcene to chill you out, but the limonene to keep you focused, alert, and giggly, if you will. Really fucking enjoying the High Times Black Label Purple Haze. We're going to go ahead and give this baby, out of 20 on the definitive judgments, you got to give it an 18. You know, I'm going to dock 1 point because it doesn't have any bitter terpenes like it tastes. I think this nug probably was a little terpier in humulene or caryophyllene. And then also, the THC percentage felt a little bit lower than 27%. That was the other thing I wanted to dock just a slight point for, but an 18 out of 20 on the definitive judgments is an extremely high score. So we are going to go ahead and tally this score out of 100 for the High Times Black Label Purple Haze. But before we do, major shout out Oaksterdam University and the Rolling Spoon Cannabis Multi-Tool, named sponsors of every episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake, making it happen for the show and helping out the Roll Gangsters along the way. The first ever cannabis college, Oaksterdam University, and the predominant roll tool, the Rolling Spoon Cannabis Multi-Tool. So each segment is worth 20 points. Each 5 is worth 20. Each 4 is worth 15. We didn't have any 3s, 2s, or 1s, so we're not going to need to worry about that. The 4 on the pre-smoke for 15 and 4 on ash color add up. 15 plus 15 equal 30. And then the perfect scores, 20 and 20 on the flavor and the throat hit, is 50 and 70. And then when you add in the 18 points from the definitive judgment section, you come out with a final score, a whopping 88 on the High Times Black Label Purple Haze. This baby is checking every single box. Absolutely loving this smoke. Not many places to judge it. Just honestly, some top shelf herb. The only places I really docked it the whole entire time was the ash color wasn't pearly white, but it was, if you watch Terpy Tuesday strain reviews, barely ever do strains get a 4 out of 5 on ash color. It's almost always 3 or less. The highly coveted 4 out of 5 on ash color. A little bit bumpy nugs, but maybe just because it's super clean and natural. And honestly, a little bit too potent testing. So, unbelievable places to be docked. An 88 out of 100 for the Purple Haze by High Times. Major shout out to great cultivator and classic High Times magazine. Some quality bud, indeed. It's been such a pleasure smoking with y'all Roll Gangsters. Absolutely love Cali 420 Love, Purple Haze, Granddaddy Perp, Purple Urkel, all the Perp strains. The chat champ of the morning, Cali 420 Love, with the love of the show. Absolutely love everybody tuning in on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, though. And we'll see you tomorrow for a What Would You Do Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and dive into a philosophical debate. Maybe Rachel or I will tell us a little story. And we're going to ask you guys what you would do in this scenario and share what we would do as well. while we smoke our herb per the stoner law, because we have awoke, so we must have a smoke. But I love you guys, Roll Gangsters. See ya tomorrow. Mwah!